Hey everyone, welcome to the Beez Knits podcast. I will be your host Jess, and this is a podcast about knitting, yarn, and all that kind of stuff, and sometimes horror movies. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for stumbling upon my video. Maybe stay a while and see if you like it. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back every single podcast. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate every single one of you. If you would like to talk to me or find me online, you can find me on Instagram, Ravelry. There's a Ravelry group. I have a store for my yarn. All that information will be in the description box down below. I just want to say I'm sorry it's been so long. I feel like it's been a really long time since I've podcasted. I've been just generally busy and tired, so I haven't recorded. But here I am, really exhausted, so I put lipstick on to mask it, and here we are. I did a better intro before. Maybe I'll trade them out. Anyways, my finished object, my only finished object, which has a bunch of fluff and crap stuck to it, is a pair of socks, because I wore them already. These are the Clark's socks for Candace from Pin Feathers and Pearls Mint-A-Long. And I have officially finished them both. See? Proof. There's two. Let me see. What do I want to say? Oh, this is the Clark sock pattern by Jacqueline Salem from Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast. Go check both of them out. They're super fun ladies. This is what the socks look like. We've got, this really, to me it looks like a pretzel cable. And then we've got these pearl bumps making diagonal lines, which, as I've said before, really help you memorize the pattern. I don't want to give it away, but the pearl bump you are on, like what number stitch it is what row you're on. So super, super easy pattern to just memorize and take these on the go. They look so complicated, which is the joy of this pattern, is that it looks nice. It looks fancy and it looks hard, but it's not hard. And then the back has this beautiful, more delicate cable running down the back, kind of like the seams on those older stockings. Does that? I don't even know. I feel like I was in a better mood literally 30 minutes ago when I started. Let's see. What else do I have to say? I did contrast toes, cuffs, and heels because I was only working with 50 grams of this color. So I wanted to stretch it to make as long a sock as I wanted and not have to be, stuck within a certain range. Especially when you're doing top-down socks. If you're not careful, you'll run out of yarn halfway through the foot and then it'll just look silly. So these are, I don't know why I'm talking so fast. Okay, these are two colors that I had dyed up. This is a tonal colorway. Does that even, there, now you can see lots of it. I'm just calling it Beets for now. Not impressed by the name, but I love the color. And then this mint color is another one I dyed up called Lake Monsters in Love. They're both available on the shop, in the shop, and I'm making a little sock kit in which you can get a full 100 gram skein of your main color, and I'm thinking 20 gram minis, for whatever contrast needs you may have. So that's that. That is my only finished object, and I made a couple mistakes here and there. I also, if you remember the last time, I thought that they weren't going to fit because they felt really tight. They felt tight because 9-inch circulars are tight on my foot. Because you have to pull the stitches, so they don't fall off the needle as you try to try them on the needle. And my foot is basically 9 inches around. So I'm, fighting with it not being quite right that way. But when I put them on, they go on pretty easy. They're very comfortable. I don't know, I was worried for nothing, and I don't have to give these to Nate. I can keep them. So you have no idea how excited I am about these. Also, if I remember correctly, the mint along is running for another couple weeks. I feel like it ends in the end of November. I'm not sure. I made myself a goal to finish these by Halloween, which I didn't do because I started working on another project because I just can't help myself. But I did finish them within the week, so I feel like it counts. And also, I took these with me to an event I went to on Halloween. Just a side note, I got called last minute to do tarot readings at a super cool event that happened. A local tattoo artist in the area. Apparently she puts on these little like art shows. I shouldn't call them little. They're pretty impressive in events. And so she did like a Halloween Black Mass. There were bands. There was a bunch of art. Obviously there was a tarot reader. I was there. There was food, booze. At the spectacular, as always, Palace Theater in Syracuse, which I love. I was super busy. I was convinced I was going to do like 3 readings and that was going to be that, but I did easily 30 readings or more. I didn't keep track, but once I got busy, I stayed busy, and I worked for, you know, a good 5 hours, and it was a lot of readings, and I was for sure drained by the time I got home. I left around 8:45 at night and I was tired, but I felt good. I felt like a lot of the readings were good. I feel like a lot of stuff resonated. Any other questions about that, and I can talk about it some other time, but I'll just go back to the knitting because I don't know how many of you actually care about that kind of stuff. So, only finished object, Clark socks. I have 2 whips. One is nearly done and will hopefully be done for the next podcast. And if I'm lucky, I'll be wearing it next podcast. And the next one is going to take me forever to finish, in my opinion. So we'll start with the one that's nearly done. And if you remember, ages and ages and ages ago, I was making the Rock Creek sweater by Caitlin Hunter of Boyland Knitworks. If I'm remembering all of this stuff incorrectly, yes. I'm remembering this all correctly. And to me, she is like a sweater genius. I love all of her patterns. I've bought, I think, all of her sweater patterns at this point. And so, excuse me. I got dust in my throat already. I had this yarn from Lion's Brand. There we go. And it's just, I think it's 100% acrylic. But I thought it would make a good beat around sweater. One I can throw in the washing machine if I need to, one I won't feel bad about working outside in, but also something that, you know, will look nice in whatever iteration of outfit I choose to wear it in. And so, I don't remember how far, last time, I think I was working on the sleeves when I talked to you. The sleeves are attached to the body. Let me see if I can show you. It's kind of hard. I think I got it. Alright. So we've got the seed stitch panel on the front, regular stockinette in the back. The sleeves are, here, let me see here. Yes, this is working. So, sleeves are attached. I'm doing the raglan decreases. Here we go. This doesn't need to be here anymore. This was my last decrease I did. And sleeve. And if you remember, this has the asymmetrical, short arms, hemline. So we've got that going on. And what drew me to this pattern not only was the seed stitch panel on the front, because I had been looking in a knitting magazine and I was really interested in the kind of textured front panel and nothing else. Like everything else just being regular stockinette stitch. And so I saw this and I just about died when I bought it. And the part that I love most is this detail she has right here on the sleeve. Let's see if I can get this close. The sweater is pretty heavy. It's a size 2X. I didn't do the largest. I think I did this. No, with this I did the largest size because I knew acrylic wasn't going to grow or anything, and I just wanted it to be a larger, comfier sweater. So it's a 2 or 3X, whatever was the largest for the Rock Creek pattern. So it's heavy. I have over a pound of yarn in this. Because if you remember, when I bought the Lion's Brand yarn, they were pound skeins, and I bought two because I knew one wasn't going to be enough yardage. So, anyways, I love this detail right here. And it is on the front and back of each sleeve. And it's just not necessary, but so pretty. I don't know. It sold me. I think that was actually the complete detail that had sold me on the sweater. I'd never had a sweater with that kind of detail right here on the raglan. So I'm loving that. I have one or two more decrease rows that I have to do. And then I want to try it on and see if it's supposed to be a wider neckline as written in the pattern. And if you don't like it, do a few more decrease rows, you know, to close it up more. And I'll have to see how I like it. And then all I have to do is the ribbing for the neckline, Kitchener stitch the armpits because there's 12 stitches there that have to be put together. See how we're not attached here? I just have to attach those. And then sew in a few ends. Most of them are sewn in. There's only a few that need to be taken care of. This is going to be done within the week. But no, seriously. Can you just love this sweater? So pretty. It's going to be so comfy. I love it. I'm so excited. Okay. So that's my I'm almost done whip. And on the next whip I have to show you is I have months and months and months of work to do on it. It's how I feel. So going along with how much I love and have decided that Caitlin Hunter from Boylan Knitworks is a genius, I'm doing another one of her sweaters already. The bug got me big time when she released the pattern and I could not wait. So I cast it on basically as soon as I had the yarn dyed. Now if you remember, I showed you this last week. I changed the name again. For real, it's going to stay this way. These are the same, but they don't look the same in this lighting. So this is Robots Don't Cry. Official name for real. And I'm doing, you know, the two skeins kind of not rotating. Whatever the word is for when you use one and then use the other and then use the other one again. I can't even think of words today. And Pumpkin Guts, which is the orange color that I showed you that I did not grab. Because that probably would have made sense to make sure I had that. But you can see them here. And what do I want to say? There's nothing to say. We can let it speak for its own. This is the Zweig sweater, assuming I said it right. We've got the colorwork triangles at the top, the amazing lace, and the little bars in colorwork as well. So I worked my butt off to do all of this. I did it in probably about a week. I'd have to check. It's beautiful. It is literally the most beautiful sweater pattern I've ever seen. I'm hoping it looks good on me when I'm done because it's going to be a lot of knitting. But can I just say, I have never experienced such genius in lace detail as I have with this. Let me see. I mean, can you even just like this, appreciate it? If you have not seen this pattern, do yourself a favor. Go look it up. It's just amazing. There's rows and rows and rows of lace. Oh no, I just sneezed. Excuse me, something is really bothering me now. But it's literally everything you'd ever want in lace. It was the most fun lace I'd ever done. You remember what the row is, and then you start running through the pattern for the row, and then you start a new row, and every row is different. And I don't want to give it away, but it's amazing. It will test your skills as a relatively newer or light intermediate knitter. We'll say if you don't do a lot of lace work, or if you just do a lot of stackinette stitch, it is a super enjoyable challenge. It was the most fun I've had knitting all year, I think. But I could say that about every new project I pick up. But I just cannot. The whole reason that I made this sweater was because of these triangles here and this lace panel. And honestly, I could stop now and I would be happy that I got to experience the joy of knitting this part. So I haven't been able to try it on yet because my needles are not wide enough in circumference to allow it. But, I mean, I'm hoping it's gonna fit. We'll see. But I could show you this all day, every day. So I'm just gonna let that go. I'll stop gushing over this for now. Every post on Instagram, excuse me, that I see related to this sweater, I love everyone's color combinations. I love seeing everyone's sweater grow, and I will love the shit out of your post on Instagram if I see it and you're knitting this sweater. Like, consistently. I'll be like, oh my god, your colors are so great. Isn't this the world's greatest sweater? I love knitting this sweater. How much did you love knitting that lace? Don't even get me started. I will tell you that she is a genius, and I will love on it, because this is, hands down, my favorite sweater, visually. I've loved knitting the Rock Creek sweater. The construction is super interesting to me, but my heart belongs to this sweater. It's got everything. I love it. Top-down seamless raglan. No, it's not really raglan. Is it a raglan? Does it count as raglan if it's got a yoke? Maybe not. I don't know. Top-down seamless construction. Bingo. Colorwork. Bam. I love it. And yarn. Duh. And amazing lace pattern. You're blowing my mind. It's freaking perfect. Okay. So that is all of the projects I'm working on that I've put work into. I have one pair of socks, the Speckled Space socks, that are waiting patiently for me to pick them up. And now that I have finished my Clark socks, I can pick them up, but I'm thinking to incentivize myself to finish the last pair of Rye socks. And by finish, I mean even bother to cast them on. I will do those before... I will cast on my Rye socks before I pick up my Speckled Space socks again, because those are a selfish knit, and the Rye socks are a gift from my dad for Christmas. Everyone else's socks are done. So that's all I've got left, and then I can get back to my selfish knitting. I think I've actually done the most amount of not selfish knitting this year. I've knit and given away, I will have by the end of the year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of socks and a sweater at least. Nope. 7 pairs of socks and a sweater? I think that's what it is. Something like that. So, that's pretty impressive for me. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, and like a baby sweater and 3 baby blankets. I've done a lot of not for me knitting this year. So I kind of deserve my sweaters that I'm finishing up. The Rock Creek sweater will be done. I'll try to wear it for Thanksgiving if it doesn't get too hot in the house with cooking. The Zweig sweater, stretch goal, done by New Year's Eve. Probably not. Don't have the time for that. Will probably be the only, hopefully the only whip that I carry into the new year. That's my goal. I have a pile of yarn that I want to talk about, but I think what I'm going to do to keep these videos shorter is make a second separate video for just yarn stuff. So I'll do, okay, if you only cared about seeing the knitting projects, then that's it. I'm only going to do a little bit of extra talking about yarn business stuff and then maybe a little personal stuff. So if that's all you like, that's fine, that's cool. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you next time. And if you would like to, please keep watching. Okay, a little bit of business talk quickly, just to kind of get it out there. I changed the name officially of my yarn company, brand, whatever you want to call it. It was going to be Beez Knits Yarn to kind of match with the podcast and like just general, like the names that I use. But to me, it was too generic in a way. Also, there are a ton of other people with podcasts and yarn companies with bees or honeybees or something related to bees in their title, and I didn't want to like step on their toes. I didn't want to sound like them. I wanted, you know, to be kind of set apart on my own, and I want them to be able to stand on their own as well. So I have, after much consideration and kind of just, oh, weird hair, while talking with my husband and stuff and making him help me come up with names, we have finally settled on Pickle Dye Works. There's kind of like a lot to it, like a ways that you could, you know, have it fit. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is I changed the name. It's a lot more individual in that way. I don't feel like I'm copying anyone. When I went on Ravelry, there wasn't like a lot of things related to pickles, so I'm feeling, you know, a lot more confident with that. So I've got pickledyeworks@gmail.com if you need to email me about anything yarn related. I've got currently a Store Envy page for Pickle Dye Works, and I'm going to set up an Etsy page. The thing is, with Store Envy, I feel like I can list more and kind of take more chances on stuff because you don't pay for your listings, while on Etsy you do. But I do want to have an Etsy page because I feel like maybe people don't trust Store Envy or don't go to it or don't really know about it. And Etsy is kind of like the place to be if you don't have your own website, even though I don't love Etsy. But also you can link your Etsy page off of your YouTube video, and you cannot link certain websites if they're not the approved ones, like I think Kickstarter counts and Etsy counts and something else. So since it's not one of the approved sites, it'd be nice to have an Etsy page to legit link to, you know, my yarn. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to sell you. It's just that when I dye a yarn, I get really excited about how it looks because I dye stuff that either I think people would like or that I specifically really want to use myself, and I get wicked excited. Like the mint color for my socks that I lost, you know, like I love this, like Monsters in Love. I mean, I dyed this specifically because I wanted to have a pair of mint socks. So this was to fill a need in my life, and I thought other people would maybe like it as well, so that's why it's listed. I love, you know, this gray. I think it looks great. I made sweater kits and all that stuff. So it's more like things that I like that I want to share because I enjoy it. I'm not asking you to spend all of your money on me if you don't like it. I just want to have it out there in case you want to see it, and if you like it, buy a skein. You know, I'm not looking to get rich here. I'm just looking kind of to supplement my yarn income needs. You know what I mean? Like, knitting can be a cheap hobby, but sometimes it can be expensive when you realize that the beautiful skeins of India dyed yarn and the fancier yarn from the yarn stores is more expensive than the stuff at Joy Fabrics. So it's kind of, you know, just like a little supplementation, especially because I stay home and it'd be nice to bring in just a little bit of money. I don't want to be like Hedgehog Fibers big. I don't see that ever happening anyway. We can't all be that lucky. So I've got a bunch of yarns. I'll just show you quickly an idea of the stuff that I've dyed up in the past couple weeks. But I will talk about each of these, individually in the next video that I'm going to do. I'll also talk about my new bases in the new video. But I've got a bunch of two different yellow colorways. They're definitely, if I hold them right, you can see the difference. They're definitely different. Similar but different. One was kind of an accident, might be one of a kind. This one to the, I don't know, left? This one was the purposeful one. This one didn't work out quite how I wanted. But they're for sure different. Some pinks. Another Christmas color, which is on Stelina. I don't know if it's picking it up at all because I can't tell. I promise it's sparkly. I promise. Can you? I don't even know why I try. You can't. Maybe you can. And then these two. So I've got some stuff new for projects that I want, and then just to add colorways to the shop, etc. So that's the yarn business stuff. I'll do that in another video from there. If you're interested, you'll click on it. If you're not, I won't be offended. Well, maybe a little, but no. I'm gonna take a sip real quick. Okay, so the only thing else that I would say is that we went to a wedding a couple weekends ago. I went to see a movie out in Ithaca at Cinemapolis, I think is how it's said. I think it's kind of like a member run little art house theater kind of thing. They get some really cool stuff, and I wish we had something like that here out in the Syracuse area so I didn't have to drive like an hour and a half to see some cool stuff. My parents saw, I don't know where my mom saw it, but it was a movie called Loving Vincent, and the deal is a bunch of people got together and painted the backgrounds for this movie. And it's not like it was a painted background like in a play. They painted canvases a la stop motion to make this. And it is a story about Vincent van Gogh. It's not all truthful. Fair warning. It's done in a similar way as Bernie is, where they talk to people about, like, you know, the main character, like the actual subject of the movie. So, I don't want to give it away. I liked the movie. I enjoyed the movie, and I enjoyed the ride down there, the ride back. We went to College Town Bagels and had some really cool sandwiches. So if you're ever in the area, stop there. They've got thousands, I feel like, sandwich options. It was really overwhelming, but everything was good. I bought bagels to bring home. Those are also super tasty. I've got a bunch in my freezer because we don't eat through a lot of bagels, but they're good to have. And so I got distracted. Why do I do this? Oh, they also, in the Ithaca Commons, they have, like, literally a section where no cars can drive. You can just walk. And there's tons of restaurants and shops there, and it's freaking genius. And could we please have that? America needs more stuff like that. We need to ditch, you know, the cars at some point and not only exclusively travel anywhere via motorized vehicle. For many reasons, one of which is we're lazy. It's nice to get some fresh air. Walking is good for you. Also, cars are not always great for the environment. They're not good for you to sit in either. Let's not go on that tangent either. I'm going to go on weird tangents for the rest of this episode. The movie was good. The thing I didn't like, there we go, this is what I was going to say. What I didn't like after I told you the things I did like about the general trip in the movie. The movie is interesting, it's fun, the backgrounds are really cool, but what I don't like is the use of rotoscoping, because they used real actors and then kind of smushed them into the movie with the painted backgrounds and stuff. So they're rotoscoped and painted over, and visually it doesn't mesh entirely, and excuse me. It's like when you take complementary colors like green and red and they vibrate when they're next to each other. You know, they really like show that they don't belong together in that way. They're very contrasty. The rotoscoping with the actual painted backgrounds and stuff did the same thing to my eyes, and it was driving me nuts. I feel like most people don't care. Most people wouldn't notice, really, but I don't love it, and I was not the only person who complained about it. My husband is also apparently snobby in that way, because that was his biggest complaint about the whole thing, was the people. Also, funny story, Chris O'Dowd is in it. If you don't know who he is, I can't help you. He is an actor from, I don't know, Ireland, UK, Scotland. I don't know. I should have checked before I talked about this. But I first was introduced to him from the IT Crowd, which is, if you haven't seen it, watch it. You don't have to know anything about computers to find it funny. My parents really loved it. If you know stuff about computers, then it's just like a bonus to make it funny. He's hilarious. But the problem is, every time I see him in anything else, I always think of him as this character from that. So I saw his name in the credits when, you know, the opening credits they do, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. What is he doing in this? And then he has his part, and he did a good job. I think they picked him well for the character, but it's just hard to get that other character out of my mind. For example. So that's that. This weekend I have to drive out to Rochester. Well, not quite Rochester. It's just before Rochester, to the nursing home / rehab facility that my grandmother is at for her birthday. So that's a whole thing that I've got to do. It's also time for me to start prepping for Thanksgiving. I want to finalize my menu. I kind of get real into that kind of thing for Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving dinner. I like obsessively pre-plan this stuff for no particular reason other than I think it's fun. So that's a thing that's been going on. I'm trying to think what else I've been up to. Just dyeing and knitting. My computer died for a while. That's fixed again, so that's nice. That's probably one of the reasons I hadn't podcasted. I think that's it. I don't know. I don't really feel like I have a lot to say in that way. I hope everyone had a safe and happy Halloween, since I haven't talked to you since before Halloween. Yes, I haven't talked to you since the week before Halloween, if I remember correctly. So I was busy on Halloween. I had fun. I felt bad that I wasn't home with Nate. So when I got home, we had a snack and stayed up for a couple hours watching some TV together and just kind of having a little hang. Since I hadn't seen him since 7:20 in the morning and I didn't get home till after 11, which is a long time. And yet, like, I know that it was one day that I didn't see him, but we spent all of our time together. All of it. Like, literally any free time we have, we're together. We do everything together. If someone's working on a project, we're in the room with that person or helping. When he's at work, we sometimes, message or text or whatever. So to not be with someone or to not see someone that you see all of the time is strange, even if it's just for like a day. And then what else? Oh, I ran into some people I knew there. One of my cousins showed up, which I was super surprised to see, so that was fun. I think that's it. I don't really want to bore you with any details, but yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, email me, send me a Ravelry message, Instagram message, comment just on the video, and I will have this video up as soon as I can. I don't think I have to do too much editing because I'm lazy. And I like to get these up within the day that I record them instead of like 2 days after. Because the more time that I spend editing, the worse the video ends up. I don't do a good job editing in the first place. And it's not worth it. So I guess I'll leave you there. I feel like I want to keep talking, but I don't have anything to say. I watched some movies and stuff, but I'll probably talk about them next week. Only thing I want to bring up is, because I didn't bring it up last time, is that we finished watching BoJack Horseman season whatever it is. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's sorry, my back itches. There isn't like one singular mosquito flying around in my bedroom, and it's choosing me as its dinner. So BoJack. It's like 23 minutes, whatever, half an hour, animated show about a horse who is a washed up actor, and it really talks about some serious issues while also being hilarious. It is one of the funniest shows. I mean, top 3 animated TV shows to watch: Bob's Burgers, BoJack, Gravity Falls. You should watch all of them if you haven't. I'll just leave it there. I don't want to ruin it for you, but I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna let you go. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. I think today's Wednesday. Hopefully I'll see you guys next Tuesday. This one I used to podcast. And I think that's it. Alright, bye.